channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're here to review and talk about Bride of Chucky.
Your favorite movie.
My favorite.
Your favorite.
My favorite. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this one.
Same.
I'm notoriously not too high on the Child's Play movies post the original three, or the Chucky movies, whatever you want to say.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to talking about this. And you got a cool shirt on.
I do. So you can't see it, so I'm going to give it its moment to shine.
Give it its moments. Ooh, it's got the pentagram and everything.
Yeah, it says, "You and me, we got this."
Nice.
We got Chucky and Tiffany.
Yeah, and you ordered that specifically for the Bride of Chucky era of the Chucky movies.
I did. Well, I pretty much got it because, I knew that coming up in Chucky Season 2, Tiffany was going to be in it.
Yep.
And so I plan to wear the hell out of it.
Yeah.
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 Get my money's worth.
Bride of Chucky, we're going to talk about it. If this is your first time discovering us here on Married Media, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to review and talk about all of the Child's Play movies leading up to Chucky Season 2.
Yeah.
And we're at Bride of Chucky right now.
Yeah. And don't forget to like the video.
Don't forget to like and leave us your thoughts of Bride of Chucky down below. This, from what I see from the horror community, seems to be a fan favorite.
Gotcha.
A lot of people like the Bride of Chucky. I don't know.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. I don't hate this movie. I really don't. I think it's okay. It just represents a shift in the tone of the franchise that I just wish that we could maybe walk back just a little bit.
I feel like the show has kind of been doing that.
Yeah, but I don't know. It kind of goes off the rails too. Like it tries to walk it back, but then it just goes full on into it.
Yeah.
But I think I just need to accept that that's what this is now, and we're not going to get that like classic scary Chucky again. I
feel like you've definitely been telling yourself that. I've heard you say that before. Like I need to just accept it.
I just need to accept it. I think the TV show has helped me accept it, to be honest.
I don't know. Like, you have to remember, though, that, like, we're literally talking about a killer doll. And so...
We are.
And,
it's a ridiculous premise.
Maybe, like, that was their intention all along, was to, like, kind of get it started. And then hopefully, have that kind of comedic part of Chucky slowly evolve, which we have definitely seen.
Well, if Don Mancini, the creator, had it his way... He wanted to do multiple Chuckies and go completely off the rails with Child's Play 3.
Right.
And the studio made him walk it back and rewrite the script and like, we're not doing that. That's too out there.
Yeah. I don't know if we had that conversation or if we talked about it in one of our reviews, but I do remember you saying that.
Yeah.
Because you watched some like behind the scenes stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we're literally like, I feel like I've said like a million times, fresh off of the couch from watching this. And so it's very... fresh in our mind. And so I might be a little hype of this movie. A little hype on this movie.
You might be a little hyped up.
I might be a little hyped up. A little high on this movie. There you go. But I feel like you've been sleeping on this movie a little bit. After watching
it's a fan favorite. A lot of people like this movie.
I feel like I liked it more than I remembered liking it. Mm-hmm. And I think that it has I think it's a lot of fun. I mean
that's the tone of this movie. Like this is a full on horror comedy. Like there's
like there is still the violence, the gore, the kills and everything that I feel like you liked in the original Chucky's. Yeah. To where it's still, creepy, scary, whatever. But then you've also got the comedic stuff, and I just feel like it works. Yeah.
And I do feel like, the addition of Jennifer Tilly, I feel like she does bring a lot of energy and charisma into the franchise and just overall, I guess, likability. Like, she's a very likable character.
Yeah, especially by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I just want to briefly talk about in the beginning. I thought it was really cool how they were in like a police station and they were in a crime. What do you call it?
Crime evidence room.
Yeah, evidence room, and it was cool because in each little like compartment where they had evidence, you saw like a Jason mask with a chainsaw. Yeah. You saw the Michael Myers mask. And I just thought it was really cool that they were trying to like do callbacks to all those like iconic horror movies.
I don't quite know how they got away with that.
There were other times throughout the movie where they made like they referenced other horror movies, and so I thought that was cool too. Like there's a moment where, I mean, do we talk spoilers?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a moment with John Ritter is in this movie.
This movie is 24 years old.
Yeah.
We're going to spoil a little bit. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to know anything, just go watch it.
Yeah. So John Ritter is in this movie, which is cool. And there is a scene where he gets a bunch of nails shot into his face.
Yep.
And you were talking about how it looked like Hellraiser. And then Chucky actually makes the comment, why does this look familiar? And so they were definitely making a callback to Hellraiser.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I thought that was cool. So
yeah, for sure. This is directed by Ronnie Yu, who also directed Freddy vs. Jason.
Gotcha.
So he directed a few horror films, and this was his first big one, I would say.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't know. What else do you want to say about this? What other things you got in your notes over there? We talked about Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, so
she's one of your favorite actresses.
Why do you have to do that? You always make me.
I feel like there was a period of time where you really liked Katherine Heigl.
It was
like maybe 2 years
because I watched Grey's Anatomy
and then Knocked Up.
Yeah. So yeah, Katherine Heigl's in it. You know, she's okay. I don't know if this was like her first movie or not.
Oh, it was one of them. I think she did.
I mean, she's pretty young in it, but like I'm sure she probably had done something else leading up to this.
I think she did some like Disney Channel original movies or something back in the day.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
She was okay. Like, this movie is definitely, what did you say? It's got that 90s goth.
That 90s grunge goth, like new metal. Like you hear a lot of Rob Zombie. I don't know if they play Marilyn Manson in this movie or not. I can't remember. But there's definitely Rob Zombie because they play Living Dead Girl in the beginning. They play a couple. He turns on a White Zombie song at one point, Thunder Kiss 65.
Which I think makes sense. I mean, we're literally talking about people who like to murder for enjoyment and they kind of get off on it.
Yeah.
You know, Chucky and Tiffany are definitely two.
And Tiffany's dating that goth guy who looks like Marilyn Manson pretty much.
Yeah, she's not really dating him. She's kind of been leading him on, I think.
Yeah. She's like basically trying to turn him into a serial killer. Like he brings home a photo of a guy that's like mangled. Look what I did. I finally killed somebody. She's like, no, this looks like you in makeup.
Yeah. She was like this. And I even said that because I forgot that it was him. And I'm like, that literally looks like him. And it was him. So he was trying to, impress her with murdering. Yeah. So she's definitely mental and, messed up. Yeah. Just like Chucky, which is why they, were a pair or a couple back in the day when he was in human form.
So I mean the story is that they were a couple back in the day,
right?
And you didn't get any of this from the original 3 movies, that he had a love interest, so they just kind of bring that into the franchise here.
Yeah.
And so
and it's been what she said that she had been looking for Chucky's doll body for 10 years, I think.
I guess she had gathered from like news clippings, and I don't know if they ever officially said it over like the news or whatnot. Like Charles Lee Ray is supposedly in Chucky, but I guess she heard rumblings of it or something. That's how she gathered that Chucky was Charles Lee Ray. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she was trying to locate Chucky's body for a number of years.
Yeah, she says that,
to bring back her former lover.
Right. And so, I don't know. I just really liked how... like I enjoyed the goth, whatever you said it was. It's goth
nostalgic, we grew up during that time,
right?
Like in the 90s.
And I feel like like I said, I feel like it was fitting because it just fit their vibe to me. And so one scene that I did want to talk about was, and also kind of another callback to classic horror movies and stuff, is the scene where she's basically, pissed Chucky off. She's locked him in a little baby cage, which is pretty funny. And she's taken her bath, and he somehow gets out. I forget how he gets out, and he electrocutes her in the tub. And for some reason, like I feel like that's a pretty iconic scene in the movie or whatever. I kind of forgot about it though.
While she's watching Bride of Frankenstein.
That's what I was gonna say. So she's watching Bride of Frankenstein, and as she's like you get this big like electrocution moment of her and as that's happening, you see the TV like sink into the tub, and it's got the Bride of Frankenstein also like being electrocuted or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess coming to life. I haven't seen that movie, so
I actually haven't
and
either,
I thought that was a cool like scene or connection, and
it was.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. Like I like this movie. Again, if I watch it as like not a pure Child's Play movie, like I think the first three are, I can enjoy the movie. And I liked it when it first came out. Like I was a big fan of it when I was a kid.
You're not the biggest fan of the way Chucky looks in this movie either. You don't like the Stitch Chucky.
I hate it.
So after watching this, like you still feel the same?
Yeah, I still largely feel the same. Although I do still think that the effects work, because you still got Kevin Yeager, which is the original like effects artist and stuff on the first three movies, working on this one, and Tiffany as well. So
right, it says
I think that the effects work are still pretty top notch. The puppeteering is still great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now there are some special effects that they bring. It's a little bit of CGI that looks extremely dated, because all CGI they tried to use in the late 90s and early 2000s
with
looks
Chucky
dated.
Though, or
no, not with Chucky.
Yeah.
With the scene with the spider, like we noticed that.
It's a very quick scene though. Like the spider literally drops onto the.
You can just tell like it
face.
Which I don't even know why they did it.
I don't either, because they used a real spider for one.
I guess they didn't want to drop a real spider on his face. Maybe animal cruelty. I don't know. Right. And also the mirror above the couple.
True.
When it breaks, when all those shards are coming down, it looks very animated. So I'll call that out. Yeah, those two sequences.
It didn't bother me though.
But it's late 90s, early 2000s. Like literally all CGI they tried to use then does not look great. So you can't really fault it for that.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like. Don't you feel like this film, I can't remember when Final Destination came out, but it kind of gives me the same kind
This one
of
came
aesthetic.
out before Final Destination.
But like how far ahead?
Final Destination was 2000, I think. So this was 2 years ahead of that.
Okay.
And another thing I do like about this movie is that it came out in a time when like literally every horror movie was trying to chase the coattails and copy off of Scream, because Scream just left such an impact and tidal wave in the landscape of horror. This movie doesn't feel like it's trying to be Chucky but Scream. Like every other, like Halloween when they did H2O, that was just Michael Myers in a Scream movie.
I will say though,
but this feels like its own original thing.
It
and
does.
I appreciate that.
But now that you bring that up, we get the whole scene where Katherine Heigl and her boyfriend, as they're trying to run away, the whole thing where they're like, "Did you do that? No, did you do that?" So do you think that was like Scream, like who's the killer type of thing?
Maybe a little bit, but I got more like classic, like Bonnie and Clyde, like they're trying to get away from the cops and stuff.
Well, they said that too, though.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. But I thought that was kind of an interesting dynamic that they brought into the movie. It didn't feel like Scream to me.
Gotcha.
But that was an interesting little subplot that they added in to create some drama between the two of them.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you thought maybe they were trying to be like Scream in that part of it.
Yeah, I think like maybe with the music and the score a little bit, but like every like music track in horror movies sounds very similar in this time period.
With Scream though, like even the audience doesn't know who the killer is, whereas we knew good and well that it was Chucky and Tiffany.
Yeah, we knew that. So
it was just that they were questioning, their relationship and stuff. Yeah. And what they were capable of, but I'm trying to think. There was another thing. So Hackensack is, I feel like, mentioned for the first time in this movie, which if you watch the Chucky...
we've heard that before in any of the movies.
And you'll have to correct us if we're wrong, but if you watch the Chucky TV series, that is where it takes place, is in Hackensack. Yeah. And so I thought it was cool to like hear that, obviously this movie came before the Chucky TV series, but this is the movie I feel like where they first mentioned that town. So
yeah, and I mean that's what you get when you have a creator like Don Mancini, obviously for better or for worse, that's saw this franchise through since the beginning.
Right.
He can go back and make these kind of callbacks. Like,
and-
this stuff is in his head. You can just tell all the time.
Right.
Like, he's probably always thinking about this universe and what he can, like,
Yeah.
bring from the older movies
Which
and
is very
stuff.
cool, yeah.
Which just makes it feel just a lot more cohesive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do appreciate that. But
Yeah. And so I just want to quickly to talk. I know we've kind of mentioned the comedic aspects of Chucky and how you don't necessarily love it. But something that I was just
it's not that I don't love it. It's
Yeah.
just not.
It's just
I like.
different.
I miss scary Chucky.
Right.
You know, and does everything have to be so comedic? Like,
Yeah.
that's.
But I mean, I still feel like
I do
he's-
laugh. Like, I like it, but.
I still feel like he is creepy though. But I know what you mean. It's not the same. But I just wanted to say, because I was genuinely laughing at some of the lines that they were saying. You know, once Tiffany takes doll form or whatever, you know, her and Chucky are, you know, getting their plan going or whatever. And there's a scene where Chucky pulls out his knife and she kind of gives him crap for it. She's like, Jesus, is that thing like super glued in your hand? She was like, knives are so out of date. Like, people don't kill like that anymore. And she was like, you look like Martha Stewart. And it was just really funny to me. And he's like, who the F is Martha Stewart?
It is pretty
And-
impressive, I will say, just how good the chemistry between Jennifer Tilly and Brad Dourif can be in doll form.
Yeah.
So it is impressive that they can
Because
still
we
have
never-
really fun chemistry together.
Yeah, we like, at least in this, we never see them, you know, in human form together,
No,
right?
I mean, we haven't seen Brad Dourif in
Right.
human Chucky form since the beginning of the first one.
Right. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty damn funny. So yeah.
But that's Bride of Chucky. We've been talking about Bride of Chucky for quite some
know,
time.
I had a lot to say.
What would you give this one? This seems to be one of your favorites.
Yeah, I mean, so I will say though, if you remember, towards the end, I did get a tad bored.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, okay.
And the movie is pretty short. Like, it's only, I mean, all these movies are pretty short, honestly. I don't think there's any Child's Play movies that's over 90 minutes. At least these first four, I think, are all like under 90 minutes.
Yeah, I did get a little bored as all of the, you know, Katherine Heigl and her boyfriend, and they're kind of being controlled by Chucky and Tiffany. And I don't know, I got a little bored towards the end for some reason. But then it picked up a little bit again. So I don't know. I guess I'll take a little bit away for that. But I'm trying to think, what would I give this one? I'm going to give it a 3.75.
3.75? You can't quite get it to that 4?
I want to give it a 4. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm going to give it a...
I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 3.25. I don't like it quite as much as Child's Play 3, but I still have fun with it. I can enjoy the movie.
Gotcha.
I just have to get on board with the fact that this franchise wanted to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. But we'll see how okay it is when we get to see the Chucky. I don't know. That's going to be a trip. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch it. Like, even if it's horrible, I guess.
I don't know.
Well, for one, I don't know if I've ever seen it. And if I have, I don't remember anything about it. So,
yeah, we appreciate you guys watching. Please like this video and comment down below your thoughts on Bride of Chucky. Is it one of your favorites of the franchise? I know, like I said, it's a lot of people's favorites. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on those bell notifications and follow us on our social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description. We'll see you next time.
bye, guys.